But, if you look at all of the great shocks, like economic in the last 100 years, so the first one in the 20s, what came out of it? Disney. If you look at the one in 2008, what came out of it? Airbnb. We've just had another one. What is going to be, that next killer business that everyone's going to be like, wow, our lives have changed?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like AI, for example. That had been around for a long time, but when generative AI with ChatGPT came out, it just revolutionized the whole tech industry overnight. And we're still not quite finding what the limits of that technology are. It's growing at a pace that we've probably not seen before. And, somewhere like the Northeast, where we've got a broad set of different companies and people who, as long as they know the opportunities are there to get that first step into their business, you never know. It could be someone in the Northeast could be pioneering the next technology, or at least making the most of what's available at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a really important point there about people knowing about the opportunity. So we're really passionate about that because I'm very conscious that there's people that know and people that don't. And there is a big divide starting to happen. So we're introducing this year, making sure that all of our entry-level courses have an element of how to utilize AI and have that introduction, because I'm very conscious that it's going to start becoming a big divide. So we're on the front line of that, and we need to bring people along with us. And it's just great to see as well, we've got the new immersive lab on Eldon Square. So if anyone is interested in getting the goggles on and all of, I mean, as far as I know about like virtual tech and stuff, but that space is available in a place that is accessible to everyone. And we were just talking about this before about, wouldn't it be great if, family are walking past and, one of the kids goes, oh, what's that, Dad? And they go in, and then all of a sudden these kids are immersed into this latest state-of-the-art technology, and then that sets them on their career path for the rest of their lives. Like, I just think we need to have more of those serendipitous moments created and where people are as well. So instead of having them in these secluded business centres that no one's ever heard of, in fact, actually, the Helix, they did some market research with the local community around there, and they said in Fenham, they said, what do you think of all those new big buildings that have emerged? And they said, oh, it looks like an alien city, and I don't think I belong there. And that, I've always remembered that. And it's like really important that everyone feels like they can access these opportunities.
Yeah, there's opportunities for everyone. These amazing developments that we have up here are accessible to everyone. Those could be the places you work in the future, or those could be the places that set you on a different path on your journey or whatever. It's just having those opportunities be as accessible as possible is the most important thing, isn't it? Okay, great. So you mentioned hospitality before. So has there been a dinner or a drinks occasion where you've been inspired by someone or something?
Yeah, I had to, as soon as I got this question, I got it straight away. So when I very first started the company, it was with my co-founder, who's now exited, Caroline Theobald, and I had really no idea that the business community existed. So I've been running the cafe, I've been running music events, I was straight fresh out of uni. And she basically said, oh, why don't you come to this lunch with me? And I was like, yeah, okay, give it a go. And it was for International Women's Day. It was part of the Community Foundation, and it was their Women's Fund lunch that they do. And they get a lot of really inspirational people from the business community there to then hear about the great causes that the Community Foundation supports. And I was on this table that Caroline invited me to, and I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. When you think of business, you think of suits and briefcases and just like totally alien world to me. And I got there and I got sat down, and I was very, proper and like silent. And then the person next to me, all I heard was this effing this, blah, blah, loud, just totally like everything that I didn't think the business world was. And I sort of turned and I was just like, who are you? And it was Lucy Batley. And for those that know our wonderful Lucy, she is a very cherished and inspirational business leader in the Northeast. And why so many people love her is because she is unapologetically herself. And I think she is a fantastic role model for anyone in business, because she really shows who she is from that very first point. And I think the more people can do that and feel comfortable to do that in the business community and every community really, the more ideas, opportunities and support that we can give each other. So in that very first event of being in a very high-pressured business environment, I found a role model. And I think everyone can find that first role model in terms of when they go out networking for that very first time, you can find that person and you can be like, right, that's who I want to set my ambitions to be more like. And whilst I don't really do as much swearing as Lucy, I am getting to that point where I do, if I do see something that I'm not happy with, then I am getting to that point where I am beginning to challenge it and to ask questions. Whereas before I would maybe have just gone, okay, fine, no, that's not okay, but I'm not going to say anything. And now I am getting to that point where I am thinking, actually, I am getting that activist-y kind of vibe, because I think the business community, and I'm going to go on about it again, but like it should be inclusive and accessible for everyone. And if anyone is ever made to feel uncomfortable at a networking event or something like that, then that's not on them. That is on the event organizers and the people that are making other people feel uncomfortable. And I just think we need to create environments where everyone feels like they're part of the business community.